Welcome to naturaldesign.com studios, behind the scenes here in the studio, where we are doing a mini course for you currently on wiring flowers. Last week we did 2 different hook methods of flowers, and this week, thank you Amber from our patrons for requesting to look at how to wire wildflowers. There are a ton of different wildflowers, however the ones that we're going to focus on today is Andromeda. This is native in our microflower farm garden foraged, and heather, also a nice little shrub wildflower. Andromeda is more of like a bush, and heather is more of a shrub. So these will be perfect wildflower examples that I foraged from our microflower farm. We'll be using them to go onto a hair clip, and then we'll be adding a focal flower for you. And the wiring method we did on this rose we'll cover in a future video. I'd like to congratulate all the people in Patreon that won the Zen River Retreat event coming up in a couple weeks, and we'll go ahead and get started on the coil wiring method. So with the coil wiring method, you want to use a smaller gauge wire, and this one, especially for like a corsage or a hair clip piece, is a 22 gauge wire. And the reason you want it this size is because it's really soft, really pliable, and is almost kind of more like a thread versus a wire, but it does have the tensile strength of the metal. And the first one that we'll work on is the Andromeda. And with a coil wire method, you work the wire around itself and around the stem to help it stay super secure. So we're going to line it up here on the stem, and then take the top half and coil it around. Thus the name, coil method. And it's now being coiled around itself and the stem. So there is the first stem with the coil wire method. We don't need that whole stem, we just need enough of it to be able to tape it. And you can watch, we'll put links in the description, and we'll help answer any questions you have. Feel free to put them in the comments, but we did a whole video on how to tape and really went into detail about how to use this floral tape. So now with this coil wire method on the Andromeda, we're going to start up here at the top where the wire and the stem begin, and we're going to twist, tape, and stretch as we twist until that whole stem and wire are covered. And this is the part that can be glued down to our hair clip or onto a corsage. There we go. There's our first wildflower wired and taped. That's the Andromeda. Next we're going to work on some heather. You've now been able to see how to wire, tape, and glue a hair clip. Also can be used on a wristband corsage as well. We used Andromeda, we used heather, we used lavender roses, and that is that. The next one we might do, we might show you how to wire the rose that we used in the clip. So again, any questions, put them in the comments. Any awesome advice or hacks or tools or tricks that you've also learned if you're a flower nerd. Also feel free to message us, and this video is a special thanks and shout out to our patrons on Patreon. Thanks so much, until next time.